All right, we're going to show you how to replace the motor control circuit board on your stepper motor if this goes bad. Obviously, first step anytime you're messing with the electronics is you want to turn off the machine, turn off the circuit breaker, and unplug it from the power. Then there are 3 cables on the circuit board. You're going to disconnect all 3 of these connectors. Then you have 4 screws mounting it on, and these 4 screws go through the circuit board and through spacers and into the motor body. You want to make sure you don't lose any of these parts, especially those spacers, when you're taking it apart. So you're going to get a 2mm hex driver. And you see there's actually 2 spacers stacked there. Make sure you don't lose any of those, because the spacing here is very important because of the magnetic encoder on the bottom of the circuit board. It's going to be kind of hard to get to the ones in the back if you have your ATX power supply in there, so it might take a minute. Actually, what I'll do is, once you get it loose, if you have a 2mm drive bit, this is a quicker way to remove it. There we go. And the last one here. All right, so obviously installing the new circuit board is going to be this in reverse. You want to make sure your spacers are in place. Be careful not to knock them off the motor when you put the screws in. So it's usually best to start with 1 screw at a time. That screw started, I'm going to go over here and make sure my other spacers are still in the right location, and it might help to use your Allen key to align them on the hole. So you see I put the Allen key through the spacers into the hole. Now you don't want to tighten these too much because you still have to put the screws in the front, so that's still loose. It's just enough to keep the spacers in place. Alright, now before you tighten them all down, get them all just kind of slightly snug. You don't want to over tighten any until they're all in place. So just till it barely makes contact. Alright, and then you can go back and give it all about a quarter to a half a turn to tighten it down. All right, so then you're going to put your connectors back in. Pay attention to the key slots here to make sure you're putting these in the right direction. All right, and once this is in place, you can plug the machine back in, turn it on, and refer to the other video for how to calibrate the motor once it's installed.